Well, it's a little early, but I'm here. Better early than late, I reckon. What's up, Timmy Two Toads? Hey, Dave, what's going on, buddy? Susie Cat. All right, we're going to have some fun tonight. I'm hoping. Or am I live? Maybe not till 8 o'clock. Oh, okay. I guess I am. I didn't. Nothing was coming through, so I didn't know if I was live or not. There is such a lag in here. Hey, Arkansas Prepper. AC, what's going on? All right, hubcaps. Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, got some of the old timers showing up in here. How fortunate am I? Yes, indeed. All right. I was having fun with drywall today. You're just talking to yourself. Where you start? Story of my life. I'm absolutely used to that. But you know what? I like talking to me. I'm a pretty cool fella to talk to, I think. Hey, Upcaps, glad to finally catch a live. Yes, it has indeed. Hey, Cornbread, what's up? Lisa, so early. What's going on? Wow. It's getting dark so early, I guess people don't have anything else to do when it turns dark. Well, it's dark. We'll go hang out with Joe for a while. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I didn't get to go to one of those. I didn't know if any was going on around here or not. I sure would have gone. Oh, you got the rain. The rain's coming here later. Hey, Leroy, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, we'll be getting some rain. It's supposed to rain tonight and all day tomorrow. And I think Monday it's supposed to rain. The guy's coming to cut the tree down Tuesday or Wednesday. Then I can get Alex, his building moved over. Yep, hubcaps, that's starting on the drywall now. We're getting close. I mean, I'm down to just inside work, and it's going to get much better. Uh, I'm telling you, working a part-time job and saving up the money and getting some money to actually do things makes a big difference. Because I don't have to work as much part-time work now, so I get to do more out here. Hello, we're getting a lot of rain over here in Michigan, so I'm supposed to be getting a shipping container moved tomorrow. Oh, wow. I hope the rain doesn't affect it too much. Stormers, yeah. Wow. Hey, Bill, what's going on, buddy? Wow, the storm's coming through Arkansas. Gosh, I guess I was lucky today. I mean, it was way hotter today than we expected, than what was predicted. But now, like I said, tonight, tomorrow, Monday, all rain and cold temperatures next week, or in the 50s and 60s. They'll be cold. It'll be considered cold. But yeah, I got to put all the. I got a video coming out tomorrow. There's something I forgot to do in my house before I put up the drywall, and that was the truss screws for all of the roof trusses to get them secured to the top plate. So I did all those today. So tomorrow I can start hanging drywall. I mean, that is vitally important that you do that, especially in one of these sheds. You gotta secure those trusses on that top plate. More than just the two 16-penny nails they shoot into it. So I'm glad I remembered it before I started hanging the drywall. All right. I'm going to tell you, the last 2 or 3 videos, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but the last 2 or 3 videos I've uploaded, it takes forever for YouTube to process them and make them go live. It is so slow lately. And they've had a few worldwide outages happen on YouTube. So something's going on with Google. Yeah, Dave, that's what you know what? I explained it in the video. The video's going up tomorrow. Um, I started with those hurricane straps, 10 nails in each one. And Bobby was telling me he uses the same thing because he's a builder up in Akron. And an inspector told him now they've got these screws, these 6-inch screws that go from the top plate up and through the truss. And it's a long, 6-inch screw. And they said that's how you do it now instead of those hurricane straps. Well, I stopped on the hurricane straps and I was going about my way, getting ready to start doing the drywall. And I looked up, I have the few hurricane straps up there, and I forgot I had to do all the rest of the trusses. Because if you don't do that, these buildings will flex and move on you. You pull that shit down tight and you don't have any movement. So today I did all of the truss screws in it, so tomorrow I can start hanging drywall. AC Gloves, how's the driving coming? Oh, it's doing great. I changed my hours. Instead of 9 to 5, 3 days a week, instead of 8-hour days, I'm just doing 1 to 6. I'm doing 5-hour days. And it's a lot more local stuff. I'm not going to Cleveland and Columbus and all that kind of crap. It's a lot better on my body. I can't get how anyone would be excited to do drywall. We did it a couple of times. Hope to never do it again. Would rather have. You know what? I think I've learned how to do it. And with the drywall screw guns and, it's going to go up pretty easy, I think. I'm hoping so. So you might want to review your wiring before doing drywall. Be satisfied everything is covered. You don't need an oops after everything's covered. Oh, that's a fact. Yeah, I know where all the wiring is, and I put the little metal plates I pounded in. But I'm putting up 1/2-inch drywall, and I'm only using 1.25-inch drywall screws, so they won't even get to the middle of the studs. And I drilled my holes at the middle of the studs, so I don't have to worry about that happening. As long as I use those screws. Now, I did have to worry about it when I put that siding up, because that siding is like 5/8 and I had to use 2-inch nails on it. So I was careful where all the wiring was when I put that up. But that's a good suggestion for sure. Yeah, they're like Timberlock, but they're made by some other company, and they don't have the washer head on it. They have a small head so that when you have a truss going over a stud, you can't go up from the bottom. You can go at an angle and it countersinks it all so it doesn't interfere with the drywall. But they're called truss screws. They got a special zinc coating on them and they're code approved. I need a ride from Indianapolis to Chicago on the 21st. Tip. Oh, speaking of tips, make sure you have everything for the extra building. Yeah, I know. I got 20 more sheets of drywall to pick up for Alex's building, and I'm gonna have to buy another $50 box of the screws for his. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Malachi's Corner, what's up? Wandering in here. You're going bangs on your shed down there at Ed's place. This is looking good. But let me tell you about yesterday, or not yesterday, Thursday, my cab driving. Biggest tip I will ever get, let me put it that way. I had to go pick up this kid. Turns out he was at the Belmont County Sheriff's Office. It had a wreck on the freeway, and he was over the limit. Well, his mom had arranged the cab because his phones were dead, and they wouldn't let him charge his phones in jail, and they let him out of jail. So I drive all the way out to the sheriff's office, and he had left. He was walking to a gas station to see if he could find a phone to charge his phone, a cord. So I'm talking to his mom on the phone because I called to say, hey, he's not here. I said, the gas stations that are a couple miles away, let me drive. I'm going to drive through there, see if I find him, I'll let you know. And I said, if he calls you, I gave her the dispatcher's cell phone number. I said, if he calls you from somewhere, call the dispatcher and tell him, to get another cab going for him. But anyway, I found the kid. He was he's 25. I shouldn't say kid. He's stupid. But I found him at the gas station. Then I took him back to where his car was at the garage. It totaled his car. His mom said, well, take him all the way to Cambridge. I'll get him a hotel room there. I said, well, if you go to St. Clairsville, it's going to be closer and blah, blah, blah. I kept talking her through everything, and we got everything set up. And she said, I need to give you a tip. How can I do that? And she didn't want to do it through the cab company. So I said, I set up Venmo because a couple of subscribers wanted me to send them money, loan them some money. So I set up a Venmo so I could do that. And I said, let me see if I can figure out how to get, how I could do that. Anyway, we got that all set up. She sent me a $200 tip for taking care of all of that for her. They live in Long Island, New York. And he was on his way back to Long Island. And I guess his frat buddies, he partied a little bit too hard before he took off. All right. I hate drywall. So do I. Does anyone see the ghetto lash up? Yes, I saw it. I agree, Susie Cat. The only problem, I do need a root canal. Oh, that sucks, hubcaps. I went yard selling today. Kind of disappointed. Didn't really see anything. I'll be glad when I get to where I can do that. Once I get this done, I'm either working or I'm here. And I've had a couple of comments that, you're not getting anything done. I don't videotape everything I do. I've done a lot of stuff that I don't make videos on just because, I don't need anybody's, I don't need to be vindicated by anybody or say, look how hard I worked. Some things I do set up the camera. Some things I don't. I just work. Sometimes I set the camera up, the camera doesn't work. I had that happen a couple of weeks ago. I was so bad about that. But I make videos as I find things that, you know, might help people. I can't do videos instructing how things work too much because I don't know. I'm learning as I go and I don't need you watching me learn. But I do a lot of work and have a lot of fun out here too. Man, what a deal on those totes I got. I cannot believe for that price I can get those totes. The Gail was looking it up. The 275-gallon tote that I got for $85. Tractor Supply sells them for $399. Their 500 the 550-gallon water tank at Tractor Supply is right at $1,000. I'm going to have $2,000 worth of water store, 2,000 gallons of water storage for less than $600 by using these IBC totes. Yeah, the 330-gallon one that I got, he only charges $95 for them. And they had powdered sugar in them. He just scrubs them out, rinses them out, steams them dry, and they're like brand new totes. He's an old guy like me, has nothing else to do. So I don't know if you saw, I think Bobby's coming over. I might have to interrupt this for a minute. He came over and borrowed a couple of tools off of me today. Cornbread, do you think rainwater roof runoff water will hurt your washing machine? I assume you have an automatic washer. No, it won't because I'm going to filter it before it goes in there. It's not going to go just from the tank. It won't have as extensive a filter as the potable water, but it's going to be filtered before it's used. It just won't be filtered enough to drink it. Hope to get my wood stove put in next month. I'm telling you, you need, before you put one of, Alex bought me one of those wood stoves, you know, from Tractor Supply, the smallest one you could get, right? That's for 900 square feet. And it's like, I can't use that stove in here. I'll be burned out. So you need to look at one of those camping type wood stoves. Hey, Smoky Mountain Off Grid, what's going on? Mountain Man, what's up? Sitting in my cabin watching Tennessee and Alabama? All right, you're hunting. Good deal. How you going to filter, Joe? I'll show you. It's hard to explain, but for the washer and dryer and the commode, it's just going to be a 3-stage filtering system to get all the debris out down to like 0.1 micron. It'll filter all that out. That's for the washing machine, and I could do the washing machine and shower and the commode with that. For the potable water, I'm going to have reverse osmosis and ultraviolet filtering system put in for that. But it's hard to, it'll be easier to explain when I get everything set up. Smoky Mountain Off Grid. Rainwater is what we live on. If you do it right, it's perfectly fine. Exactly. You know, I'm gonna. I have one of these sheds I bought in Wheeling 5, 6 years ago because I needed a shed in Wheeling. So what I'm going to do when I sell the house in Wheeling, or when I get ready to move out here, I'm having that shed moved from Wheeling out to here. That's where all my totes are going. It's going to be in the shed. It would be my pump house basically, because the totes will be in there, the pump, the pressure tank, the hot water heater, everything, and then it'll go underground into the house. Uh, and if I don't get enough rain to keep it full, it's $85 to have 2,000 gallons of potable water brought out. So I always have that to fall back on. We use carbon filter, sediment, and UV lights. That's what I was talking about, UV. And I'm going to do reverse osmosis because I can set that up pretty easily. I saw someone with a smaller camper with one of those camping stoves. They mounted at counter height, said their place was super warm. Yeah, for a small shed like Malachi's Corner, I think that would be the perfect solution than trying to put an actual wood stove in there. Because I think the wood stove is just going to overpower the place. Frank. Hey, Joe. Frank, checking in from. All right, Michigan is in the house. Howdy, Frank. How are you, bud? That's a fantastic price for water to be brought out and put in the toast. Yeah, but I was calling him. I wanted him to bring, like when I needed to put uh, 400 gallons in the septic tank for the install, and I wanted to fill up a couple of totes of 500 gallons. He said I can't bring less than 2,000 gallons. And I'll bring out 2,000 gallons, fill up what you want, and I'll dump the rest of it. But they can't drive the truck with less than 2,000 gallons in it, or empty, one of the two. So, but yeah, once I get set up in the shed, and somebody left a comment about it's going to be too heavy. I mean, water's heavy. That 200, if you fill up 300 gallons, 300 gallons of water at 8 pounds a gallon, 8 pounds. A pint is a pound the world round. 8 pounds per gallon. I'm looking at over 2 tons in one of those totes, and I'm gonna have 6 of those totes in that shed. But that shed has the 2x6 joists at 16 inches on center. It has 4 4x6s running underneath it. So the weight will be spread way out. And I'm going to set the totes on top of 4x6s that are spread across it. So I don't think I'll have a problem with the weight. Really good fall colors are beautiful here. Oh, I bet they are, Frank. We don't get such good here at St. Bernard Acres because I don't have the right kind of trees. But the drive to Wheeling and back this time of year is gorgeous. Oh, that's great. That's what you have, Malachi's Corner. Awesome. That's what I would put in here, but this is so well insulated that I don't really have a problem heating this. I got a little electric heater that burns this place out. But yeah, I'm glad things are starting to come together. Gary's going to be down in Alabama the next couple weeks, so it's Joe alone. Do you think you should have a concrete pad under the shed? That's a lot of weight. I thought about that, Cornbread, and I'm still going back and forth on that. It wouldn't cost too much to put it on a concrete pad, that itself, because it is going to be a, you know, probably 10 tons. I'm going to estimate, no, 5 tons. I thought about that, but you know, this soil out here is so hard. It's very clayey, and I put down, you know, 4 or 5 inches of that limestone, that crushed run that I'd brought in. You know, I think it will be fine, uh, because of all, you know, the 4x6 runners that everything sits on. Really spreads out all the weight, and then the tanks are going to be on 4x6 runners inside the shed. So, lost you guys for about 20 minutes. Rough storm. We have 1,900 homes without power. Wow. Good luck, Arkansas. That's why you're a prepper. It's exactly what you could say. I don't have to worry about you going through a storm. Dang. But the storms are hitting a lot. Joe, if you ever get to the point of doing concrete, let me know. It's all I've done for 38 years. You know, I might wind up doing that. You know, that's a question I'm going to be posing. You know, I'm going to sit down and do all the calculations and then try to determine if I do need a concrete pad for that. Now, that's not really, I mean, I don't know how much these sheds weigh, but you know, that bathroom that I'm putting on, I mean, that's going to be heavy. The washer and dryer is going to be in that addition, the shower, the commode. That's going to have a lot of weight to it. Plus, you know, the whole house. You look at the whole weight of the house. Um, that's why I'm wondering if I will have any big issues with it. I just don't know. I did a little bit of concrete work back in the 60s using the bull floats and on my hands and knees, you know, floating out concrete. Very little, but that was some hard work. I'll tell you a secret about me and the unions. I'm not a union person, per se. When I was living, this was back before anything in my life started happening. I was in Chillicothe, Ohio, and I was working for this company that was building bonded gas stations. I don't know if you remember bonded. I think it's called bonded. They were gas stations. We were building them down in Ironton, Ohio. Well, that was a big union town, and we were a non-union construction company. So we got down there. We were building 3 gas stations, and the union was picketing us every day. We'd have to cross the picket line to go to work. I mean, it wasn't, nobody did anything. We didn't have any problems like that. But the concrete company we had contracted with to bring in all the concrete wouldn't cross the picket lines because they were a union shop. So we were like, crap. All of that concrete we did in wheelbarrows. We built, you know, 2x8 ramps, and we had to go out to the street, fill up the wheelbarrow, take it to where it needed to be poured, dump it out with the wind. Did that for days. I was like, oh my gosh, that was hard. Hey Jeff, what's going on, my friend? Yes, cement work is hard. I wasn't real pleased with it. K Dog, it's been a long day. Yeah, it's been a long day. We can even do a very nice decorative patio or walkway once you're in there and get some ideas. You know what? I'm all for that. We'll keep in touch on that one. The concrete is not really that expensive. I mean, it's not any more expensive than most other things. It seems like. But yeah, I am definitely leaning towards a concrete pad for that shed. Like I was going to comment on your last video at Ed's. I dropped a link about. All right, good deal. Arkansas prepper. People used to think water beds were too heavy, but it is all distributed. One thing for sure, your building will not blow away. That's a fact. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be, it's 2x6 joists, 16 inches on center. It's a 10x16 building. So there are four 4x6 skids underneath it that all of those joists sit on top of. So you've got the 2x6s, and then every 2.5 feet you have a 4x6 underneath them. And then inside on the floor, I'm going to run 4x6 beams across there to set the totes on. So it will be really well distributed over there'll be 160 square feet that it will be distributed across. I mean, I just don't know. When I get the building out here, I'll see. But you're right. I remember people worried about water beds. I hated water beds. I know they were really popular. But if I was going to go out with a girl and wind up over to her house, if she had a water bed, I didn't need to go. All right. Did y'all see the video with my new tools that Tom sent me? I'm so excited about those. Definitely going to make my drywall life easier. All right, what else is going on, folks? I don't know what time the rain's supposed to start here. I know you guys are having rain issues. Oh, tomorrow. No rain today. All right, nothing tonight. Yes, I love tools. I love tools too. Not yet, Joe's. No, I was watching that too. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for him. What have you and Gail decided for flooring in the house? Laminate flooring. We're going to do in the bedrooms. In Alex's house, we're going to do carpeting just for the insulation value in the bedrooms. But the whole rest of the house is going to be laminate flooring because of the dogs. That's what I put in the cabin. It's easy to put in. Except in this one, I did the peel and stick stuff. I think in the house, I'm going to actually do the actual boards. I mean, the laminates, the peel and stick stuff in here worked out great. I haven't had a problem with it. But it doesn't get a lot of traffic like it will in the house. The house is going to get loaded. Oh, and I kept telling you, as far as hooking up the electric to the electric box, I was nervous about that. I don't want to do that myself. I was looking for an electrician to come out and do that. I just don't have, I got a lot of confidence in my ability, but that's a big thing, in that house, hooking all that up and not knowing where to put grounds. I got them at the meter box, I got them at the disconnect switch, I got them at the barn, I got it here at the cabin. I didn't know what I was doing. So yesterday, Bobby came over. Uh, he had forgot his nail gun and compressor and everything. He wanted to get some work done. So my nail gun and everything's here. I said, take all that with you. Um, we were inside the house because I was asking him about something. And I have an extra window, a big slider window that I had bought for the house, but it's too big. It just didn't fit over the kitchen sink. It was too big for that. So I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And Bobby's a certified electrician. I mean, that's what he does. And he asked me if I wanted to sell it. I said, I'll tell you what, if you'll just hook up my panel to my electric line coming from the meter, if you'll put that in, you can have that window. And he said, right on, buy the splice kit and we're doing it. So next weekend I'll have power in the house, which will help a lot. Yeah, Gary's making good progress on his name. Listen, Dakota's Crossing. That's Gary's channel. He got his shed built, or he built an 8x12 that he can stay in when he's down there, and his stepson's down there, and they get all this work done. And he's got a lot of land clearing to do. He's going to be getting a portable sawmill because he's got big trees everywhere. So yeah, they're doing good. Um, yeah. Uh, oh, the stove. What kind of stove? I'm just putting in a regular propane stove. We're going to put a wood burner in there. We're going to have a wood stove. But as far as in the kitchen, we're not, uh, I'm not trying to build an off grid place, Um, I have the grid. If I have to go off grid, then it'll be a different story. But I will have a propane stove. The dryer, when we have to use it during the winter, will be propane, and my hot water will be propane. But we have electric, and we're going to take advantage of it. I like cooking with gas. Bill, I say if the cat can get in, so can the predator. Oh yeah, I'm a little uh, concerned about the security of that chicken run thing. Uh, Susie Cat, can you see if you can find, since you got one of them wrenches, see if you can go grab Gary's thing. Oh yeah, cornbread. Too many wood burners. He's like, yep, that's true. Uh, are you going to do the mud work on the drywall? I was never any good at the mud work. You know what, Paul? I'm gonna try it. Uh, I think I can, but I'm gonna try it. I don't have the money to pay anybody to do anything. That's part of my problem. I wish I had the money to pay people to come in and do stuff, because everything would be done by now. But yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. I've been watching a lot of videos. We have LP out here in the country, changed our water heater and dryer to electric because we were going through LP too fast. That's a good point. Gary's channel, Dakota's Crossing. He just started the channel. He has very few videos up there. But if everybody went and started subscribing to him, he'd freak out. Mud work is an art. It sure is, cornbread. I mean, it takes a long time to get really good at it. I've played with it before. I mean, I would never walk into a house and say, okay, I can do this mud work. But I'm doing a lot of drywall, but there's not going to be a lot of taping and floating all over the place. I'm going horizontal with the sheets. There's going to be 2 butt joints, and that's it. The rest of it's going to be the regular joints, but only 2 butt joints on each of the rows of drywall. So Joe, it's not a big deal to mud. Main thing is to feather the edges. Just means extra sanding when you first start. Yeah, I know. I don't want to do the sanding. I want to be good enough to get past that. But it's going to be fun to try. I mean, I am afraid of nothing. I will try anything. Better off in the long run to let someone who finishes drywall for a living. Again, Bill, I would love to, but I can't afford to pay anybody. I just think I can do it. I believe I've all of this stuff I've done. Remember, in my life, my entire life, I was doing printing and direct mail. That's all I've ever done. 50 years ago, or when I was 15, I ran away from home in Cincinnati and I hitchhiked to Corpus Christi, Texas to stay with my sister and brother-in-law. I was 15. He was a finished carpenter. So while I was going to school down there, he put me to work, and I got to work with different things. So that gave me a general knowledge of stuff, but I hadn't done it for 50, that was 50 years ago. So I'm basically learning all this stuff new, but I can do it. I have enough confidence in myself. Tommy, hey Joe, just watched your video riding the track to Kroger the Lowe's. Enjoyed it very much. I want one. Are they expensive? Hope you do more videos like that. Yeah, they are. I will be doing more videos with it as soon as I get time. I love that thing, man. I absolutely love it. This week I plan on doing a run up to Pike Island, Lock and Dam on the trike and shooting some video up there with it too. That one there is like $1,500. So I don't know if you consider that expensive or not. I consider it very expensive. But, they sent it to me to do the review on, so I was really happy to get that. But I will be doing more videos with it because I just love it. And I want them to send me another one. Hell, paint covers up a lot of it. It sure does, doesn't it? You can do it, Joe. I can hang and finish drywall, so you'll be fine. Yeah, I imagine so. You know, it's Dakota Crossing. That's what it is. It's not going to be a terrible job. I'm pretty good with my hands, you know. I think I'll do okay with it. I'm not worried about the joints that are beveled, you know, like regular drywall joints. The only one I'm going to have an issue with is uh, the butt joints, because you got to feather that out 12, 14 inches. But I have the right trowels. I have a curved trowel to do those, and I bought the right stuff, you know, so I think I'm going to be fine with it. I don't I don't doubt that I can do a good job. You know, I'll put it that way. And I can camouflage things well. I'll have a textured wall. I'll get one of those spray things and texture the whole wall and not even worry about it. That's how I run that one. And the ceiling, I'm not doing drywall in the ceiling, so that's going to help a lot. Uh, just doing the corrugated metal ceiling. So that just kind of like forms itself. And there's no taping, floating, or anything with that. So I have 24 feet of walls on each side because it's exactly 24 feet. And, you know, a few sheets on the end walls, and that's it. There you go, cornbread. If I had to, I think I could figure it out. I mean, like I said, I was did printing and direct mail. I learned how to do all this electric stuff. I ran everything here that's electric. I ran all the solar when I had it. You know, I put in my own septic system and got it approved. You know, I never did a septic system before. So I am not afraid of learning anything or trying anything. I ask the right questions of people. I always have somebody that I can turn to and ask a question. Bobby's great, Gary's great, Tom's great. I mean, all these people, they're in the trades, and I can ask them for advice, and they give me good advice. Frank, I would get a dehumidifier when you're mudding. Really? I never thought of that. I'd never heard that before. Probably help it dry fast. I'm not buying the quick dry type stuff because I need time to work with it. But I think it's going to be fine. I have the right tools, you know, I think. Malachi's Corner. The thing is, Joe, you research and listen. Exactly. And I get in there and do it. I don't have somebody else do it for me. If somebody is doing something with me, I'm in the middle of it doing it too. That's how I learned. You know, I ran a lot of high speed digital print, you know, variable data printing is what we did. So you're talking big giant Xerox machines and laser printers and stuff. Well, anytime I had to place a service call, I watched what the service tech did. I watched everything he did and learned how he does that stuff. And I basically became our own service department. I didn't have to, you know, be late on jobs because I was waiting on a service guy. I learned how to do it so I could keep the business going. The guy who did my basement used one. Yeah, it makes sense, especially in a damp basement. I like that idea. I think we have one at home. And I've also heard, I don't know if you guys have any experience with this or not. I'm watching videos on hanging drywall. I see a lot of those places, they use that drywall adhesive to put on the studs. It seals everything. It's like it makes it a vapor barrier. And you use half as many screws. You don't have to screw it nearly as much because you got it glued on there. And as I saw more and more people doing that, I texted Bob because, Bobby's a house builder. And I asked him if he used the drywall adhesive before he hung his rock. And he said, yes, he uses that stuff. So I bought it. It's not expensive. The big giant tubes was like $5.50. So it wasn't a huge expense. But, what I saw was, especially these days, and this is something that was brought up, this lumber that we're getting from China and shit is so cheap that what happens is you've got that drywall up against that stud, and over a couple years time period, that stud shrinks as it dries out, and it will leave void places where you have a little, your drywall's there, but the stud will kind of like have a spot where it's pulled away from the drywall. And then if you get any flex or if you lean against the drywall, you get those nail pops because it'll push through. And they say this eliminates a great deal of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know why it would hurt anything. At $5 for a tube, I just don't know why it would hurt. No, the adhesive will do, I think, 4.5 or 5 sheets of drywall, and it's $5. So basically, you Velcro drywall into place and it's screwed up, kind of like that. I mean, it does. That sounds about right. Uh, Yeah, that's true. I mean, it will once you get it up there. It's easier to hold it up while you're starting the screws. Because I'll be putting all this stuff in by myself. I don't have anybody out here to help. So, putting the full sheets up, it's going to be fun. But I'm going to put a ledger board across there where it's going so I can set the sheet on the ledger board and then push it up against the wall. And fortunately, Tom sent me that drywall screw gun that's cordless, the Craftsman one, and I can get a few screws in with that, and that'll hold it all in place. And then I can get my corded screw gun and just zip all the other ones in. Let me see if I can find some. You guys entertain yourselves for a minute. Let me see what I can do here. Search Dakota's Crossing. Not the band. Yep, I see that band. Dakota Crossing. Okay, I wonder if I put an apostrophe in there. Dakota's Crossing. Nope. He's going to have to jump in here and put a link in. Because I can't find it myself. Shoot. No, I can't find it either right now. Hanging half-inch rock is a piece of cake. I hope it is. So instead of drywall, I'm going to use T111 painted. If you're a member of his channel, you should be listed under your subscription. I've got so many. You're right, but I've got so many subscribers. Or I've subscribed to so many channels. Let's see what I can do here. Go to YouTube Studio. I hope I don't screw up my live stream. Let me go back to regular YouTube. Go to subscriptions. Okay, I see it down there. Show more. Dakota's Crossing. We go here. I am subscribed. Control C. Control V. See if that works for you. Let me know if that works. I just put it in the chat. That's the URL to Gary's channel. I didn't know I could do that. One second after. All right. It works. It's Dakota's Cross. Oh, you're right. Dakota's Cross. Duh. Why was I saying crossing? I wonder where that came from. Wow. All right. Dakota's Cross. Oh my gosh. Dakota, I don't know if you saw any of my old videos when I was out at Gary's helping him build the rabbit hutch and helping him build the chicken coop. And sometimes when Gary was out here years ago, he had his German Shepherd with him, Dakota. And Coda was probably the coolest German Shepherd I ever saw in my life. I'm not a big Shepherd fan, but I love that dog. And it was terrible when Gary had to put him down. I mean, finally, just old age. But what a wonderful dog Coda was. I missed him when he got put down. But Gary's a dog trainer, and his family's into dog training and obedience training. They're really good at it. Yes, I did, Susie. I'm sorry about that. I did it when I went to search for it. I put in crossing. I know it's cross. Oh my gosh. I'm tired. That's what I can blame it on. And I'm getting old. I blame it on old age. But yeah, he'll be pleasantly surprised too. Now everybody's leaving my chat to go look at Gary's videos. Oh, that was a mistake. Nobody wants to talk to Joe anymore. Dang it. That's what I get. Y'all see, y'all found somebody new, so much for Joe. Yeah, I need a gummy. Uh, I haven't done one for a while because I haven't really. I think I've been doing a lot more work, so it's getting easier to do the work. I've been getting more active, and I'm going on the weight loss thing again. I'm going to drop 30 pounds during the winter when it's hard to drop, but I'm going to lose another 30 pounds. So I'm being more active, and that, I am less sore that way instead of working once a month. But I'm about out of damn gummies, man. I'm buying so much shit for out here, I can't afford gummies. Oh, oh, Malachi's Corner, thank you. Yes, I'm on my last one from the last Dr. Pepper fund. I went out and bought a 6-pack. I drink one a day. Uh, you're going to need some while doing the sheetrock. I think I will, especially doing it alone. Finally, hey, I'm Cod. You finally finished a 1-hour video where you used the electric bike to go to 3 different stores. It was refreshing to listen to. All right, well, thank you, bud. I appreciate that. What kind of dirt or what kind of diet are you going on, Joe? I'm not going on a diet. The last time I lost 50 pounds, I never went on a diet. I just cut back on what I ate and got a lot more active. I don't believe in diets because I don't like the first 3 letters in the word diet. I just cut back, and I kind of mindful of the carbs, I'm not in a hurry to lose it. If I drop, a couple pounds a week, I'll be happy, you know. It just I don't need to. I think if you go on a particular kind of diet, you spend all your time worried about all that kind of stuff. I just cut back on everything. Uh, Stay off the ibuprofen. I don't do hardly any ibuprofen anymore. Uh, I know, I love that, man. If I could get free, when I was that few months I was driving the truck, you guys may have seen that giant pilot cup I had. But all the pilots, I could take that in and fill it up for free with Dr. Pepper. Uh, like I was going, I went to Dollar General to get a 6-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper, and a cold Dr. Pepper was $9.09. Well, for a 6-pack, maybe $9. I know that $6 a 6-pack. Now, Kroger's and the digital coupons had the 6-packs for $3, which buy 4 of them, or 5 of them, because that's the limit on those digital coupons. When I find them on sale, I try to buy them, but they haven't been on sale lately. But this week they went on sale, so I was happy. But yeah, instead of a diet, I mean, it's like when I drive the cab, I'd fill up my Yeti full of uh, Dr. Pepper, and I would drink that all day long. Well, now I fill it up with water. Instead of, I will have a Dr. Pepper once a day, and that's it. I don't drink it all day long like I used to. I remember paying 75 cents a vending machine for cans of Dr. Pepper. Even I thought they worked. I remember that too, God. Yep. How long will it be before the government has to figure out how to send everyone a check with this? They're never going to do that. You know, everybody was so excited. We were getting Doge checks, you know. Oh, they saved so much money. Everybody's getting a $5,000 check. From day one, I called bullshit on that. That's not going to happen. You know, and if they do send us something, we got to pay taxes on it and claim it anyway. So they're going to get it back. You know, the whole deal with no taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on this, that is strictly a temporary thing. No taxes on overtime. That's only good for 2 years, and it's a deferment, is what it is. It's not, you know, no taxes. You get to claim a certain amount at the end of the year. That's all. Everybody thought they were going to get these fat paychecks and bigger paychecks, and I kept trying to tell people that's not the program they put in. Don't look at the headlines. Read the actual stories. Yes, Malachi's Corner. We are basically their servants. That's exactly what it is. I still think property taxes assumes the government owns what we pay for it. That's what it is. The latest thing that Jeff Bezos was talking about, I think it was Jeff Bezos, right? A lot of these things are getting smart, right? Your smart TVs, your smart refrigerators, everything smart this. It's going to be like cars. If you go and charge your TV at Radio or at Best Buy Radio Shack, God, that's giving away my age. You go and charge a new TV at Best Buy. If you don't make your payments on that charge card, they will turn your TV off. You won't be able to use it. You know, that's why everything is going with this digital currency. They want to do away with cash. They control. They can turn off your money whenever they want. That's why they want this digital currency so bad. Yeah. Now I see these states trying to do away with property taxes, and I think that might have a chance. But what it's going to do, if they do away with property taxes, I'm telling you this right now, my $52 registration I have to pay to get tags for my truck, which expired last month, right? If I'm not paying property taxes, that $52 I got to pay for my tags for a year is going to be $152 next year. That's how they're going to make it up. They might give you one, but they're taking away another one. You're never going to get anything from this government anymore. Governor DeSantis trying to eliminate property taxes in Florida. Yes, I saw that. And I hope he does. Ohio's talking about it now. That would be great if I don't have any property taxes. But, like I said, you're going to be taxed in other ways. They're going to give us nothing. But at least we will feel like we own our land, our property. But yeah, Malachi's right. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Cornbread. It definitely does have a chance. Just be patient. I agree. It's got a chance, and I think they will do it. I think what's going to happen is they're going to say, okay, no property taxes. You don't have to pay your $1,000 a year in property taxes. But now you're going to have to pay, you know, my $52 license fee for my car is going to be $152. All the taxes on everything else are going to go up to make up for no property taxes coming in. It's just going to be a trade off so they can say they did something. if we can get away with it. But it has to be more than 2 years. Like I said, the whole lie about no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security. That got him elected, and it's a 2-year plan. That's all it is. After the 2 years is up, it goes right back to the way it used to be. Yeah, there'll just be more taxes on everything to compensate for the real estate tax. Real estate taxes are a joke. Maryland just increased their motor vehicle taxes by like 1,000%. Well, yeah, Bill, $150 for plates is cheaper, but all of the other taxes included, and I got 3 vehicles I have to buy tags for. So there's $300 of it just in that. And I'm just pulling that number out of the air. It may go up to $200 or $300. Who knows? I already have to pay taxes based on the value of the vehicle. Even though it's 20 years old, they value that truck at $2,700 or $3,700. I have to pay that tax every year. And then I buy my tags and everything, but I have to pay that tax before I can get my tags. My tags, which cost $52 a year. So it's all just a game. It's considered legal because not enough people fought against it. That's just it. That will never see the Supreme Court. And what's happening now with the IDs and the digital currency and all that, there's not enough people to fight it. So it's coming. Get ready for it. You're not going to be able to avoid it. And that really sucks. That's why you got to get some property that hopefully you can afford. Gail and I have been talking about it more and more, how much we're going to have to do out here to become more self-reliant. We can't afford to live hardly anymore. I paid off my truck in 2008, but every year in West Virginia, I pay taxes on that truck so I can get the license for it, so I can get my tags. You know, I pay probably $150, $200 in taxes on the 20-year-old pickup truck so that I can buy a $52 license plate for it. Gail on that Explorer pays $300 and some in taxes on it. We have to pay taxes on our house. We have to pay taxes on the lot that I bought next door to the house. We have to pay taxes on all the vehicles. We have to pay. You're supposed to pay taxes on your dogs. If they were uh, like registered, I'd be paying taxes on the dogs. My house I paid off in 2013. I have not made a house payment since 2013, but I pay them taxes every friggin' year. So I never really bought it. Oh, I saw a sign. This is what totally blew me away. I bought my first house in Houston in 1984, maybe 1985, right? And you remember you would drive past these new neighborhoods that are being built, and it says homes from the mid 60s, homes from the mid 90s, went up to, right? My home in 1984 that I bought brand new in the brand new subdivision was part of homes from the mid 60s. It was like $68,000 for the new home, right? I passed by a sign close to Columbus. I had to take a ferry out to Columbus. Homes from the mid 850s. $850,000. Who's buying that? I don't know who can buy it. I can't fathom being able to buy something like that. Oh yeah, rent around Wheeling. The cheapest thing you can get that's habitable is going to be $1,000, and that's Wheeling, West Virginia. BlackRock, Vanguard, they're buying all the houses and all the apartments. And they are making it to where you can't afford to buy a house, so they can buy all the houses. That's what's going on. We lose so they can stay rich. Well, it's 9:15, folks. I'm gonna have to get off of here. I got some couple phone calls I got to make and figure out a few things before it gets too late. But I appreciate everybody in the live. So I appreciate all the conversation. Watch the videos. Go check out Gary's channel so we can support him as well. Uh, but keep spending money. That's all we can do, you know. Tomorrow I'll try to shoot some video putting up some drywall. If my camera works and if I'm able to do it, you know. If I don't look too stupid, I won't put up videos where I look dumb trying to hang this stuff. But we're going to try to get it together. But I appreciate everybody who hung out with me tonight. It helps motivate me and helps entertain me on a Saturday night. I'm old. I don't go out and party anymore. But peace out, everybody. I'm out of here.